Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Fumble Sports Show here on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Twitter X. So wonderful to be with you. I know I've been away the last couple of days battling a bit of the cold that's been going around here in the city. But that said, I am with you guys because Thursday night football is upon us. We're kicking off week 14. For so many, it is the fantasy football playoffs. For a few of us, it is the final week of the regular season, but a time where everyone needs some advice, everyone needs some insight. And while I've been battling that cold, I have been doing my research, looking at the best trends, looking at the data, looking at the player props that we're going to go with tonight. So I'm going to give those out throughout the course of the show. And of course, answering your fantasy football questions about who to start, who to sit, who to pick up off the waiver wire, what trades to make. It is so wonderful to be with all of you across all of our platforms. If you do have a question, throw it in the comments section, no matter what platform you're watching on. It's so wonderful to be with all of you. Brock Ford, Kyler, or Justin Herbert? Really good question. I'm leaning maybe just slightly towards Justin Herbert, believe it or not. The Kansas City Chiefs pass defense, suspect. That's why I'm leaning towards Justin Herbert. Now, the only issue is the game plan may call for some run game, but Brock Ford, I lean towards Justin Herbert in that one. Hope you're having a great day to everyone who's watching. Two-tone, Eagles defense or Cardinals? I definitely go with the Eagles defense. I know there's some risk to it, but I definitely prefer the Eagles over the Cardinals because I could see the Seahawks actually challenging the Cardinals in that game, where I do see the Eagles ultimately winning. It's just a question of the spread. Jorge, Will Levis or Jordan Love? Great question. It's a very tricky one for me. I'm going to lean towards Jordan Love just barely, and it's more because I think I trust him and I trust his play, his ability to maybe. Problem is he throws interceptions too. Will Levis, both have great matchups. I'm gonna go Jordan Love, Jorge, but it is closer to a coin flip than maybe I first thought. Mr. Lopez, Jordan Love, or Brock Purdy. On that one, I'm gonna go Jordan Love. I'm high on Jordan Love this evening. I think he throws for over 225 yards. I could see him throwing for multiple touchdowns. I understand Romeo Doubs is out. I think Christian Watson's going to have a good game. I think Jaden Reed's going to have a good game. I really think the Lions' defense being depleted, at least from a health standpoint, is going to play a major factor. So I lean towards Jordan Love in this one, and you're kind of hearing it in a lot of the fantasy questions. A. Stanley, Keenan Allen, or Waddle? I'm going to lean towards Keenan Allen just barely because of the matchup, but it's just because Waddle's facing a Jets pass defense that is very, very good. Wingman, Murray or Will Levis? On that one, I'm actually going to lean towards Will Levis. I could see James Conner having a very good game in the running game, maybe taking away some value from Kyler. I think Will Levis could have one of the better games of his season, career, however you want to think about it. Alex, pick two between BTJ, Wilson, or Westbrook. Westbrook-Akine is a great play this week. Again, Jaguars are a terrible pass defense. Calvin Ridley's going to have a big game, but Westbrook-Akine has been scoring touchdowns consistently. Cook, thanks for adding another month to your subscription. So I'm very high on Westbrook-Akine. Between Wilson and BTJ, I just don't trust Mac Jones. I just don't trust him, and the Titans' pass defense is good on its own. So I'm going to sit BTJ. I'd play Wilson and Westbrook. But for all of those out there looking for a wide receiver for the week, Westbrook-Akine, absolutely someone you should have your eye on. Could have a great game. Godzilla, Mahomes, or Goff? It's a really tough question because the Los Angeles Chargers pass defense has played so well. I'm going to lean towards Jared Goff just barely. Do I feel great about him in this game? I don't. But Jair Alexander being out, I think, does play a factor. I'll go Goff over Mahomes, though I think it's probably a closer call than I really want it to be. Dylan, and part of the reason I say closer call than I want it to be, it's because David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, they take away some of the value, especially in the red zone from Goff. I think Goff could get 2 touchdowns, but those running backs kind of keep him from getting 3, 4. So I lean Goff over Mahomes, but it's tight. Dylan, round 1 of the playoffs. Let's get at it, Dylan. Mooney, Reed, Shakir, Keenan Allen, or Debo. Start 3. I'd absolutely start Jaden Reed, and I'd absolutely start Mooney. Dylan, Reed, and Mooney, I would absolutely play. Then it gets really interesting from there. I'm probably leaning toward Shakir. Watership, thanks so much for subscribing. I'm probably leaning slightly toward Shakir, but I'm not crazy about it. The problem is I just don't know what the 49ers are right now. Both, if Debo becomes their primary runner with Guerrero, maybe I like that matchup against the Bears defense that struggled at times against the run, but I just don't trust it enough. Keenan Allen on the other side, the 49ers pass defense so far this year has been one of the best in the league. So I'm thinking I'm leaning Mooney, Reed, and Shakir. Dylan, Mooney, Reed, and Shakir is going to be the three out of that group. Justin, start Juwan Jennings, Cooper Kupp, or Guerrero. I'd probably start Guerrero. I like the matchup there. Kupp would be the second option. Jay Ben, start Love or Tua. It would be Jordan Love tonight. Jordan Love tonight would be the play for me. Appreciate your question. Let's go over to YouTube for a moment. Christian, Laporta or Njoku? This is a really good question. I'm going to lean Njoku because with Jameis Winston throwing the football, things are just wild with Cleveland. Even up against a good Pittsburgh pass defense, I think that it's going to be Njoku is the better one to play. Doesn't mean I don't like Sam Laporta. The risk is he could get a touchdown tonight, but I prefer Njoku. I think he has more value this week. Jorge, start three between Hall, Guerrero, Walker, and Montgomery. Great question. I'd probably start Hall. Hold on one second. Okay, I'd start Hall, I'd start Montgomery, and I think I'd start Walker. I think Guerrero would be, no, take that back, I'd probably sit Walker now that I think about it. I want to start Breece Hall. I understand the Dolphins are a decent run defense, but I think I'd rather start Hall. I think I'd sit Walker. It's close, but I think Geno Smith could have success passing the ball against the Cardinals. That may take away some of the value from Kenneth Walker. Brian, Tua or Love? I'd go Love on that one. Brock Ford, Juwan Jennings, D-Hop, or Smitty? I'd go Smitty. If Devontae Smith is back, I like him the most against the Carolina Panthers. Isaac, Kincaid, or Kraft? Great question. I'm going to lean just slightly towards Kraft. I think it's a close call. Kincaid's health over the last month has been kind of questionable. That does lead me to leaning Kraft overall. Raggedy Pancakes, Tracy or Guerrero? So the Saints run defense leads me to believe Tracy's the slightly better play. Very, very close on this one. I'm going to go Tracy over Guerrero in a close call. Sean, pick two between Montgomery, Pacheco, Bijan, and Chuba Hubbard. I'd go Montgomery and I'd go Bijan. Montgomery and Bijan. I understand Montgomery has I understand Bijan has a tough matchup. It's just they use him in a multitude of ways. Don't like Hubbard's matchup this week against the Eagles. Don't like Pacheco's matchup against the Chargers. So I'll go with the most versatile player out of those three. I'll go Bijan, and of course I like Montgomery because I think Montgomery probably finds the end zone tonight. It's been a very, very safe bet. So if anything, I want to play a high floor player, Montgomery would be that one. Cook, Garrett Wilson, or Amari Cooper? I think Amari Cooper is actually a slightly better play. The Miami Dolphins pass defense has been very good so far this year. They're a top 10 pass defense. I think it's actually Amari Cooper going up against a Rams defense that's just a little bit more vulnerable, but I think it's closer to a coin flip than we want it to be. Cook, thanks so much for helping me hit my live goal. I'm going to change that up right now. And because of that, I'm also going to give out a pick. I want to give out some picks tonight to say thank you to all of you guys watching. So I'm going to give out a pick for tonight's game. Let's throw that one up on the board. Of course, while I'm doing that, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time we're live. Love talking sports with you guys. We try to do it every day. Forgive me for being away the last few days. Been battling a cold, losing my voice. Don't want to have bad broadcasts. That said, the first pick we're going to put on the board for tonight's game is going to be an against the spread pick. I like the Packers to cover tonight. I'm sure a number of you guys have seen out there that the Packers under this scenario have been a very strong team when they're a 3-point underdog or less. 3 points to 0. They're very strong as an underdog. I can see the Packers covering tonight, especially with the injuries to the Detroit Lions. I feel like this is a close game. Right now, at most sports books, this is at 3. I like it at 3.5. Right now, BetMGM has it at 3.5 at -115. I love the spot for that. Not surprising, the public is more on the Lions. So, 65% of the public is betting on the Lions to cover the spread. However, the money is creeping on the Packers. I'm going to be on the side of the money for this one. I like the Packers to cover. Packers plus 3.5. Again, Packers plus 3.5. That's the first pick we're putting up on the board. I'll put up some more picks throughout the show. Every time we hit a live goal, I'll throw out a pick. While we're going back to things, though, we're going to get back to fantasy football questions. I know that's why most of you are here. Extended mags. I picked up the Titans defense myself earlier today. I think the Titans defense could be a very good play. Wingman, Bengals or Chargers defense. I'm going to lean just slightly, I think, towards the Bengals. I don't feel great about that. I really just don't want to bet against Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City against a divisional opponent, because even if he has 3 bad quarters in the fourth quarter, he could go off and all of a sudden make you a bad play. I think I'd rather play against the Dallas Cowboys offense. Really, I want to play with a Bengals defense that's motivated. I know they're terrible, don't get me wrong. Chargers are the better defense, but I think I'd rather go up against the lesser offense. That's how I'm playing it on that one. Joe, Tyreek Hill or JSN? I would go Tyreek Hill, even though he's got a tough matchup. Josh edits, Chuba Hubbard or Christian Watson? It's Christian Watson for me. I think Watson could have a very big game. I'll give out a player prop bet for him in a little bit. Wingman, Ferguson or Evan Ingram? I'm going to lean just slightly towards Ferguson on that one. I know I just said I take the Bengals defense over the Chargers, but I take Ferguson overall. Extended mags is going against me on that Chargers play. I understand why. Manuel, Otten, Hawkinson, or Kraft. Right now, I'm riding with Otten. I'm leaning slightly towards Otten against the Raiders. I understand the Raiders are a better pass defense than the rest, but it's how Cade Otten has been used over the last few weeks. That gives me a lot of hope. Hawkinson, I like. Kraft, I like. Otten's going to be the one I'd play. Crystal Trejo, Purdy or Stafford? Great question. I think right now I'm leaning slightly towards Matthew Stafford. A lot of that has to do with he's a very high floor play, gets usually around 200 to 225 passing yards consistently. My only concern is he loses some red zone value with Kyron Williams out there. BB, Minnesota or the Tampa defense? For that one, I'm going to go Tampa defense. Kirk Cousins coming back to Minnesota. I understand Kirk Cousins has really struggled of late, but that Minnesota defense gives up a lot of passing yards. Forgive me. Temulima, Hill, BTJ, or D-Hop. I'd probably go Tyreek Hill on that one. Very, very close call, though. Frankie, drop Goddard or Noah Gray for Otten. Yes, I would on that. Though Goddard's a very good play this week. You could honestly play Goddard. I think he's got good value. I think it does slightly depend on Devontae Smith's status, though, so you do need to mind that. Lucci DeMeo, Wilson, or Kyler. I think Russell Wilson's actually a slightly better play. It's very close on this one, but I'm going to lean just slightly, I think. Yeah, I'm going to lean just slightly towards Russell Wilson in a close call. I think it's pretty similar, but Seattle Seahawks defense, pass defense, is just a little bit better. And again, as I mentioned, I think that James Conner could have a good game. Cody Meyerson, Otten, or Westbrook at the flex. It'd be Westbrook Akine for me, especially if you're already playing Baker. Personally, it's close between Baker and Goff. Man, I think I'd probably lean towards Baker, but it's close. Temulima, Cardinals defense or Saints defense? That's a close call. I'd probably go, it's a close call. I'd probably go Saints defense, but I don't feel great about it. Lucci DeMeo, is Reed a good start this evening? I think that he is. Clutch in, start 3, Chase Brown, Gibbs, Achan, and Bucky Irving. So Bucky Irving is going to be a play for me. The Raiders' run defense so far this year has really struggled. I think that's an area where you could see Bucky Irving could have some success. Jets, though, give up good ground game. Man, you got 4 good options. Man, it's close. Clutchins, I'm actually going to reverse on this because all 4 are good options, but Bucky's probably the weakest now that I see it. Chase Brown's a must-start. Gibbs, to me, is a must-start. And Achan's such a strong play as well. Bucky's going to be the odd man out. So even though I started right to left, just because that's how I was reading it, it really is he's the weakest. So Clutchins, I'd start Brown, I'd start Gibbs, and I'd start Achan. Donnie B, KC is 6-0 against the Chargers. Will it be close? I think it will be. I would probably lean towards the Kansas City Chiefs getting the win, but the Chargers covering. Right now, kind of early line action. I like to put in some early things. I like to put in early alternative lines. You guys know how I do. But I like Kansas City on the money line, but I like the Chargers around a +7.5. I do think it's going to be played within a 1-score game, in part because the Kansas City Chiefs just aren't nearly as good this year offensively, so I don't think they can stretch out a lead, even if they are in the lead most of the game. But I could easily see the Chargers winning outright and finally breaking that streak. I'm just not going to bet on it. Dyla, Jacobs or Bucky? It's a great question. Now, the Detroit Lions run defense has been phenomenal so far this year, but obviously they're just not the same up front. I would take the risk, Dilla. I would take Jacobs. I understand that Bucky has the better matchup, but I think that Josh Jacobs is going to define this game this evening, whether it's in the run or in the pass game. I think I'd rather take Jacobs. Now, I don't feel really strongly about that, but I feel good enough in answering your question to at least say it out loud. Wise Owls, James Conner or Jones? I'd go James Conner on that one. Aaron Jones has a great matchup, don't get me wrong. The fumbles concern me a little bit, though. I'm a little bit worried about that. Meanwhile, I think James Conner's got a great matchup against the Seahawks run defense that he should be able to exploit. Tino Ack, Hunt, Spears, or Abdullah? Probably Kareem Hunt. Just because I feel like he probably gets the most touches out of anyone in that group. Do I feel great about it? Not really. Abdullah is probably a close second. Depends on what other running backs the Raiders have. C-Do 04, Herbert, Goff, Will Levis, or Tua. I'm going to lean towards Justin Herbert. It's close between Will Levis and Justin Herbert for me. Very close. The only reason I'm actually leaning towards Herbert is I think I like the overall offense a little bit more than what the Tennessee Titans have. And obviously, I think Herbert's going to be a little bit better with the football. I think both are going to get you a surprising number of rushing yards. But overall, I'm going to lean Herbert 1, Levis would be 2 out of that group. Ryan over on YouTube, trade Worthy and ETN for Debo. I'm not crazy about the move. I understand why. You're late in the season. You're trying to make things happen. But Frank, fine. Ryan, I do it. You are getting something, but I don't feel like you're getting a lot of value. Debo's disappointed me, and this 49ers offense is just not the same right now. I don't love giving up Worthy. That's part of the reason I'm not crazy about the trade. Nuve DK, Ingram or Kraft? I'd go Kraft on that one. I'd go Kraft. Christian, Legion Blitz, DK, Keenan Allen, Garrett Wilson, and Watson, pick 2. Christian, I'd go DK and Watson. DK and Watson. Reversed, pick 2 between Judy, Guerrendo, Dowdle, and Hill. Reversed, I'd go Guerrendo and Dowdle. Seth over on YouTube, Caleb, Geno, or Rush this week. Probably leaning towards Geno Smith. Seth, I'm leaning towards Geno. Folk, Pacheco, or Chuba Hubbard. Close call here. Close call. Wow. That's tight. I'm going to say Pacheco. Folk, I'm going to say Pacheco just barely in a close call. Marr, start McConkey, Reed, Cooper, or Chuba Hubbard. I'd go McConkey. Just barely over Reed. It's close. Very close, but I think I'd lean there. I wish I could start them both, to be honest, Marr. It's a coin flip between McConkey and Reed. I lean McConkey just barely. though I do think Reed could find end zone. Extended mag, start 2, Lamb, Hopkins, Tillman, QJ. I would start CeeDee Lamb. I'd start CeeDee Lamb. And probably I would start... I want to start Quentin Johnston over Hopkins. I think that's what I want to do. I don't trust it enough, so I'll lean Hopkins for the moment. But I should say Quentin Johnston based on the matchup, but those hands are made of bricks. So Lamb and Hopkins for the moment on that one. DTR Destruction, Sam Darnold or Justin Herbert. I'm leaning towards Justin Herbert just barely. Sam Darnold's going to have a good game as well. So I feel good about both of them and the performances that you'll probably get out of them. But that said, I do lean Justin Herbert just barely. Close call, but Justin Herbert. Tamia Lima, Purdy or Derek Carr? I'd go Brock Purdy. I think it's a coin flip, but I lean Brock Purdy just barely. I'm a little bit worried about the Saints this week. If you ask me, that's one of those trap games. If I actually think the Giants could not only cover, if you told me the Giants pulled off a shocking win and Derek Carr is an away favorite, stumbled and slipped on a banana peel and came out with a loss, I would not be surprised. So I'm a little bit worried about betting on the Saints this week. They've played better than I've expected over the last few weeks. And I feel like going on the road as an away favorite feels like a bit of a trap to me. Mike, drop Ingram for Hawkinson? Yes. Tyler Ola, start 2. A.J. Brown, Metcalf, Reed, Amari, MHJ. Ooh, we got a lot going on here, Tyler. I would start A.J. Brown 100%, and I would start DK Metcalf as the other one. It's tough because I want to get Reed in there. I want to get MHJ in there, but it's Reed and Metcalf. Those would be the top 2 for me. FGI Doug, pick 2 between Moore, J-Mo, Puka, or Mooney, or Debo. A lot going on here. FGI. I'm gonna say Puka and Mooney. Jamison Williams just misses out. The problem is, again, I could see him getting a touchdown, but I think Puka and Mooney are the best plays out of that group. Anthony, JSN, Jaden Reed, or Judy. Anthony, I'd go Jaden Reed. Just barely over JSN. Romeo Dobbs being out does impact that decision. MM, Carr, or Jameis Winston. I'm going Jameis Winston. I understand he's facing a good defense, but Jameis Winston chucks. And what's even better, Kevin Stefanski lets Jameis Winston be Jameis Winston, and that's good for everybody. Fans, fantasy football owners, it's good for everybody because Jameis Winston doing Jameis Winston things is highly entertaining. Bacon, Kupp, or Keenan Allen. It's Cooper Kupp. Shady Lou, Addison, Connor, Neighbors, or Kareem Hunt. I'm going to take Malik Neighbors. No. I'm going to take James Conner. Forgive me. I was going to say Malik Neighbors. I like Neighbors, but he would be 2. James Conner's number 1 on that one. James Conner. David, Goff or Stafford? I'm going to lean just slightly, I think, towards Goff. Close call, though, but I'm going to lean towards Goff. I think Stafford's got the trickier matchup, and Kyren Williams is going to score a rushing touchdown, may take away some of the red zone value that Stafford would otherwise have. Oxnard, Eagles, start Jennings or Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is a must start this week. If you have Calvin Ridley and you're not starting him, why do you have him? This is a week where you have to start him. You just saw what Jerry Jeudy did against the Denver Broncos, a revenge game. This is Calvin Ridley against the Jaguars. You can call it a revenge game. I call it a dominant game because the Jaguars are one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL, and Calvin Ridley and Will Levis, they found something. I know Westbrook-Akine has gotten the touchdowns, but I love Westbrook-Akine. I love Calvin Ridley. Start both of them. Definitely start Calvin Ridley if you have him. OBS Danny, Carr, Stafford, Cousins, or Will Levis. You just heard, I'm very high on Will Levis. I think Levis would be number 1. Cousins would be number 2 on that list. And between the wide receiver or Chubb, I'm leaning toward Adam Thielen. He's shown me something with Young in the lineup. Michaela, Otten, or Laporta. This is a close call. I'm going to lean Cade Otten. I think it's closer to a coin flip. The only reason I'm leaning Cade Otten is I think he's become such a big part of the passing game that I almost feel like he's a wide receiver 2 as opposed to just being a tight end, or he's second in terms of who are they targeting, Mike Evans being number 1. I don't think Laporta is that anymore. He might have been last year, but I think Jamison Williams occupies that role now, so I'm higher on Cade Otton. The great Tyler, in a 2-flex league, is it crazy to start Jonnu in the flex, have McBride I'm not crazy about Jonnu this week. I say that, and he could get a touchdown and make his value worth it to you, but the Jets are a good pass defense, and given maybe who's out there, I'm not crazy about it. Again, is Westbrook-Akine available in your league? Jorge, Winston, Goff, Love, or Geno? Close call. Doc McLovin, thanks for subscribing. Close call. I'm leaning slightly towards Geno. I think it's between Love and Geno for me. I lean Geno just barely. I think the Arizona Cardinals pass defense, it's played better, but I could see Geno having a much better game on that one. I understand Jameis Winston's just chucking at this point, and it's a lot of fun, but, man. I know people are also going to bring up Toyotathon with Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love could have a very good game tonight. Alex Lammers, Disley, Pitts, Kraft this week or rest of season. I'm going to lean Kyle Pitts. I lean Kyle Pitts just ahead of Disley. I think Kraft probably ends up third in that group. I lean Pitts just barely. AE, Sit One, Judy, Ladd, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Pickens. I'd sit Jerry Judy. I'd sit Judy because I can't sit Pickens at this point, and it's between those two. Thoughts on Kenneth Walker? I think Kenneth Walker has a good game. I would rather bet on Geno Smith than Kenneth Walker, I think. Part of that also comes down to Charbonnet starting to take some of that value away from Walker. Mike, I would drop Ingram for Hawkinson. So Sammy, also have Judy on the bench. Gotcha. Folk, Pacheco, or Chuba Hubbard. Folk, I'd go Pacheco. Bain, Bennett, RB2 in the flex. Dowdle, Najee, and Jennings. I'd go Dowdle and Najee. Tyler Ola, start 2. I would start, I'd start James Cook and I'd start Guerendo. James Cook and Guerendo. It's close between Guerendo and Jacobs. Not going to lie on that one. Closer than it would have been, but I'll go Cook and Guerendo. Appreciate the question. So, Sammy, need to start 2. I would start Reed and I would start Neighbors. Reed and Neighbors. If Neighbors doesn't go, I think Hawkinson I think Hawkinson would be the substitute since Jameson's playing tonight. I'm willing to ride it out because I want Neighbors to be that option. Sam, MVS or Christian Watson? I'm saying Christian Watson. Watson's the play for me this week. It's AJ. Should I start Baker or Mahomes? I'd start Baker. I'd start Baker just barely. Romeo, Ingram, or Disley? I'm going to lean towards Disley, believe it or not. Disley, and I lean Herbert. If you don't want to double up, I get it, though. If you want to diversify and you don't want to double up on the Chargers, I get going with Goff, but I'd still start Disley. Camden, Goff or Williams? I'd go Goff. Nick Nah, flex Trey Tucker or Scantling? Trey Tucker. I think Trey Tucker, as long as he's healthy. Peter 08, Jonnu, Otton, or Laporta. Start 2 or 1. I'd go Otton and Laporta. Xander, DK, or Jennings? Xander, it's DK. Cali Kid, Nick Westbrook-Akine, or Thielen Allen? I'd go Nick Westbrook-Akine. Nick Westbrook-Akine would be the play. Parker, start Ladd. Yep, Ladd, just barely over Reed. That's how I'm coming down, though I know some may differ. Manny, I'd go Herbert. Nick Nah, thanks so much for helping us with our live goal. I'm going to throw up another live goal, and then once I've done that, we're going to give away another pick for tonight. I mentioned I've got some player prop bets that I want to give out. I've also got some NBA picks that I want to give out throughout the show. So now that we've hit another live goal, I'm going to throw another pick up on the board. You guys ready? Awesome. Next pick that I'm going to put up there, let's do a 2 for 1. I've got Tucker Kraft over, let's go Tucker Kraft 25 plus receiving yards, because that's what you'll find on DraftKings. I like Tucker Kraft 25 plus receiving yards. I think that cashes. I also like Christian Watson 50 plus receiving yards. So Christian Watson 50 plus receiving yards and Tucker Kraft 25 plus receiving yards. 2 plays that I like for this evening. I'll give out a couple of plays that I like for the Lions once we get our next live goal. User 2000 or 200, 100,000. Appreciate you joining us, or 100 million thousand. Thanks so much for becoming a subscriber. Appreciate that. Tejas, K9, Pollard, Jennings, Guerrendo, or MHJ. It's close between Guerrendo and Pollard. I think I lean just slightly, believe it or not, towards Pollard, just barely, but it's close between those two. Hand it to you. What's happening? Akine, Moore, or Adams? You know what I'm going to say. It's Westbrook Akine. He's finding the end zone. He's got a great matchup. B. Chase, Tua, Russ, or Love? Close call. I'm going to say Jordan Love, just barely. I'll say Jordan Love, but it's close between Love and Russ. Squalls, drop one. Ingram or Amari Cooper have Hawkinson. I drop Ingram. This Jaguars offense, it's Mac Jones playing for the Jaguars in a season that means nothing. Tells you all you need to know. Joseph, Zuli, Wicks, or MVS half PPR. I think Wicks is the better play. This week. He's got the better matchup. I'm willing to take a chance on that. Sawyer, Mayfield, or Goff? Close call. I'm going to go Mayfield, but it's close. Very close. Hollywood Fisherman, Wilson, Adams, Devontae, or Debo? I'd go Devontae Smith. Probably Debo would be the second. BB. I'd go K-Dot and BB. K-Dot. Sean Matta, Achan, Barkley, Tracy Jr., Lamb, BTJ, Ridley. Bench one, BTJ. Easy. If I'm just benching one, BTJ. Joe, Baker, or Love? Close call. I'm going to lean Jordan Love. Just barely. Alyssa, Gill, Darnold, or Goff this week? I'm going to lean towards Sam Darnold. Close, but Sam Darnold. Cormac, Marvin Harrison Jr., Reed, or Warren? I'm going to go Jaden Reed. It's close on Marvin Harrison Jr., but I think Seattle's pass defense is good enough. Problem is, Marvin Harrison Jr. has been awesome at home so far this year. Reese A. K. Keenan Allen or Mooney? Mooney. Chewy. Rashad White or Keenan Allen? I'd go Rashad White over Keenan Allen. If you haven't done so, make sure you hit the follow button. Take a quick second. Make sure you're a member of this great community. We're live almost every single day across all of these channels. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Twitter X. Talking sports, fantasy sports, sports betting, because we're sports fans like you. We love talking sports every single day. So make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, make sure you're a member of this community. EMN, Evans news, haven't heard any yet. Eric Anderson, pick 3 between Walker, Bucky, and Tracy. Well, I'm assuming you mean pick 2. I would go Walker and Tracy between those two. Jorge, start 2. I'd go Myers and MHJ on that question. Pat, Judy or Guerrendo? Pat, I'd go Guerrendo. Pat Guerrendo. Christian Silva, Gino and Wilson. It's a close call. You needed to take first place. I understand it. I'm going to say Russell Wilson. Very, very close, though. Christina, Westbrook or Dowdle? Man, that's another great question. Very, very close on that one. I'm going to say Dowdle. And the reason I'll say Dowdle is I just like an RB1 as opposed to a wide receiver 2. I think both have good games. Christina, I wish you could start both, but I'm going to lean Dowdle just barely. Close call, though. Tejas, we got you. B. Chase, we got you. Slipping down here. Moby, great question. Moby, I'd go Tracy 1, Ridley 2, DK 3. So Tracy would probably be the number 1. But man, I don't love sitting Ridley. I want to play Tracy and Ridley if I could. Tejas, sit 1. Tejas, I'd sit Bucky. Sean, I'd play, Sean, I'm going to start Kraft. I'll start Kraft. I think it's a coin flip between the two, to be honest. WPB, I'd go Herbert. WPB Gold 2, Herbert. C-Do 04, I'd go Disley. C-Do 04, I'd go Disley. Martin the Great, I'd go Jaden Reed. User 2,000 million 100. Pick 1, Hop, JMO, or Worthy. I'd go JMO. David, Walker, Allen, Judy, or Thielen in the flex. I'd go Walker. I think I prefer him over the entire group of options. Shady 2 Lit, I'd go Quentin Johnston. EMN, pick one this weekend. Shakir, Debo, or Tracy. It's Tracy. Tracy would be the play for me. Noob DK, pick three. Bucky, Devontae Adams, Jennings, Higgins, Mooney, Ridley, Waddle, BTJ. Okay, Noob DK, I'd go Ridley, I'd go Mooney, and I'd go Higgins. Ridley, Mooney, and Higgins. Ridley, Mooney, Higgins. Ice Boeing, Detroit defense or Tampa Bay defense? Tampa Bay defense. Tampa Bay defense, I think. I don't feel good about this Detroit defense with the number of injuries they have. Jorge, who has a better game, Reed or Watson? I think it's a coin flip. I think I lean towards Reed because I like him more in the versatility, and I think he finds the end zone. But honestly, I think both have really good games. Brandon Jones, start one. Westbrook Akine or Keon Coleman. Westbrook Akine, Brandon Jones, Westbrook Akine is the play for me. Sean, Gino, or Carr? I'd go Gino. D-Grace. Saints defense or Bucks defense? Close call. I think I lean just slightly towards the Saints defense. I'll go Saints. User, thoughts on Disley or Juwan Johnson or injured Goddard? I like Disley probably the most. Disley just ahead of Goddard. Kohlberg, I'd go, Kohlberg between Love, Levis, and Baker. I go Love 1, Levis 2. Close, but I just trust Love, I think, a little bit more than Levis. They'll both seem to throw picks every week. Barack, Laporta, or Otten? I'd go Otten. Barack, I'd go Otten just barely. Ricky, DK, or DJ Moore? I'd go DK. Appreciate your questions. If you haven't, take a quick moment, hit the follow button. No matter the channel you're watching on, make sure you follow Butt Fumble Sports. That way you never miss our show because we go live almost every day. I Foley, start Jarrett Allen or Lively tonight. It's a tough call with the Nuggets matchup. I think I lean just slightly towards Lively, though. Tyler Ola, Flex, Guerendo, Reed, or MHJ. I'm going to say Guerendo. I'll take Guerendo over Reed in a close call. P. Asha, Adams, or Mooney? I'd go Mooney. P. Asha, I'd go Mooney. Appreciate you guys watching the show. When we hit our live goal, we'll give out another pick for tonight's game, another player prop bet. But between now and then, I do want to give out another pick, and it's going to be an NBA prop bet. Okay, everyone? An NBA game pick, I should say. An NBA game pick that I want to put up on the big board for everybody. So, I am taking the Nuggets tonight. I'm going to take the Nuggets at plus 7.5 to cover. So, Nuggets at plus 7.5. Right now, the Nuggets, the money's slipping a little bit towards their side more and more. Right now, it's at 4.5. I moved that by 3 points. I like the Nuggets at a plus 7.5 right now. You get that at minus 175. I like the play. I think this could be played within even a tighter span, but I don't like the 4.5. Don't love that just from a free throw standpoint. So Nuggets plus 7.5. Latest pick I'm putting up on the board. Have more for you if you want to get them. Jordan Johnson, Goff or Russ? I'd go Russ. Believe it or not, I'd go Russ. And if Lamb doesn't play Judy or Allen, I'd go Jerry Judy. Russ and Judy would be the two. And then between the tight ends, I'd go Otten. Josh Keller, I'd go Baker Mayfield. Josh Keller, Baker Mayfield. G Money, Debo or Hall? I'm going to lean Breece Hall, but it's close call. Brady Kaufman and Njoku Smith or Shakir. If Devontae Smith's healthy, it's Devontae Smith. But if he can't go, Njoku's a decent option. Best kicker to stream this week? I don't know. Kicker is the one position where it's like get who is projected. Get someone who's on a defense. Here's someone I actually do like. Whatchamacallit? I like the Seahawks kicker this week. I actually like Carlson. Now that I say I don't have opinions on kickers, I actually do. I like Daniel Carlson of the Raiders because I could see the Raiders not putting up a lot of points, but moving the ball against the Bucks pass defense that's not that good. I think Brock Bowers could have a good game. I think Jacoby Myers could have a good game. I could see the Bucks being in field goal range like 3 or 4 times and going, hey, if we just get 3 points out of this drive, we'd be happy. So I could see the Raiders kicker being a good play. That's someone I thought about picking up for those that are in need of a kicker. D-Clan, I think I'd go Kraft over Disley. I'm going back and forth on this one. I think I lean towards Kraft just barely. BB, I'd go Watson and Myers. It's tough for me to sit Jamison Williams because I think he could get a touchdown, but I like Watson and Myers more, I think. Zach, I'd go Pitts over Kraft. It's close, but I would go Pitts over Kraft in a very, very close call. LL88, I'd go Reed. LL88, I'd go Reed on that one. Woodsman K, I'd go Tracy. Woodsman K, I'd go Tracy. Papa Pizzy, I'd go Eagles defense. Papa Pizzy, I'd go Eagles defense. Do you think Cedric Tillman plays? I don't know. Nick Nah, Miami defense or Steelers defense? That's a close one. Again, Jameis Winston just chucks, and Rodgers has been throwing picks. I think it's Miami defense. I think it's Miami, but I think it's close. I think on reputation it'd be Steelers, but I actually think on stats it's Miami. Watership, I'd go Love over Goff. Love over Goff. Cameron, I'd go Reed. Cameron, I'd go Reed. Sam, yeah, I don't know the answer, Sam. Ryan, I'd go James Conner. Ryan, I'd go James Conner would be the one out of that group. Appreciate your questions. Hope you're enjoying the show. I will be back for a show a little bit later. I'm going to come on. I got to go run and do something, but I will be back on in probably like 90 minutes, everybody. So we're going to do a second show in about 90 minutes. So make sure you come back. Make sure you join us again. Going to run off, do some stuff, but I will be back for a show in about 90 minutes. So if you love the content, make sure you hit the follow button. And a reminder, I give away my picks every day for free because I don't think you guys should pay for picks. I know there are a lot of people on social media who charge for their picks. They put it behind a paywall. I don't do that stuff. I don't believe in it. I do this research because I love researching sports, and I wouldn't make a bet that wasn't informed by stats and data and research. So I do all that research, and if you guys want to see the picks that I come up with, I make them available for free. Just DM me on Instagram, Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram. I give them away every single day. So if you guys want the picks, that's how you can get them. I will be back in about 90 minutes to 2 hours again. So we will be live again prior to the game just to make sure you guys get some fantasy football questions answered. But I'm going to run off and do some other things now. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful night. We'll catch you guys in a little bit. Make sure you guys DM me on Instagram, okay? Bye, everybody.